Stand by to launch FanStream Sports.
3, 2, 1. Let's start.
Hello, sports fans. Welcome to FanStream Sports. Nothing but pure sports. This is the JP Show.
JP, it is so good to hear you back on the air.
Stand by now. Here's JP.
All right, welcome into a Tuesday edition of the JP Peterson Show. It's Meet the OC Day, the annual Meet the OC Day at One Buccaneer Place today, as Zach Robinson will make his Buccaneers debut in front of the mic at least. Looking forward to that. Lightning win last night. I was there. I have information. Ooh. So, yeah. Lots of celebs in the house.
Stamkos is coming back.
Stammer's coming back, baby. Talked to JBB about that last night. And April Fools. No, he's not. He might be. I don't know.
No, we don't know.
Might be. Who knows? He's playing some great hockey, though. Good morning to you, Tim Hamm, you ice skating extraordinaire, man. And you and your son out playing hockey on the streets of Dallas. How cool is that?
Yes,
Nothing
man.
but
It was
ice
really
out there, baby, huh?
It was really cool. So everybody knows, I mean, I haven't been on the air since Friday, but Friday night the storm came through and we got just a bunch of sleet, changed to ice. We got a little bit, maybe
don't
2
say that
inches. Maybe we got like 2 inches of snow on Sunday, but it just layered on top of the ice, and then it got down to almost 0 degrees Saturday.
Ooh.
So everything that we've gotten has just frozen. And as I showed you off the air, JP, I'll show the Petermans here. This is my backyard. That is about 4 inches of just solid ice. Like there's no footprints that go in it. It's just the puppy goes out and slides around while he's peeing. It's really funny, as do I. But yeah, just so yesterday afternoon,
like Super Bowl.
Yeah, so yesterday after, the sun's been out for a couple of days now and it's still not melting because we're not supposed to be above freezing until later today. But I did this with all the kids about 10 years ago when we had a similar situation. Got the hockey sticks, got the puck out of the freezer, JP. We went out into the street because there's no cars because nobody can drive.
Right.
And we had us an impromptu neighborhood classic.
That's awesome.
Hockey classic. And, a couple of the kids had sticks with them and a couple of them didn't. So, we were sharing and just having some fun. I didn't go get my skates on. I was afraid to do that. I might die.
Smart.
But dude, it was a blast, man. And it was just brought back a lot of memories from when me and you were growing up in Northern Canada playing as teenagers and kids, on the Hudson Bay. And but it was a lot of fun, man.
I saw snow till I was about 19 years old.
Is that right?
Yeah. Yeah. I don't.
Wow.
Well, no, 1977. It did snow in Hollywood, Florida.
Yeah.
At Olson Middle School, and we all ran outside. Our teacher was like, "No, we're in the middle of a test. You can't go outside." And we're like, "We're going." It's snowing in Florida. So yeah, that was the first time I saw snow, but obviously it didn't stick. And then, went snow skiing, and I think as a junior in high school, so maybe it was like 17. But we just, we didn't have any ice rinks in South Florida, nothing when I was growing up, none of that stuff. So no, I can't. But anyway, we had a little ice last night, by the way, a little ice baby last night at.
How about that?
And we got 2 rinks right now. We have a rink at Raymond James Stadium that is fully functional and ready to go. They might take the tent off today because it's going to be below freezing most of the time.
There you go.
And they can just, what a stroke of absolute luck, weather luck. We were literally at 90 degrees this past Sunday, 90 degrees. I'm out hitting balls, 90 degrees. And then on Sunday, it's going to be a feels like temperature of 14 in the morning here in Tampa. And it's going to be a very cold and maybe wet Gasparilla on Saturday. Got Bert Kreischer on Friday night at Benchmark International Arena. So we're going to do that. Then Gasparilla, then the Stadium Series game. Holy hell, what a weekend. What a weekend here in Tampa Bay. And I believe all the players from the Lightning, I think they're going to be in the Gasparilla parade. We're going to heavily lean into the Gasparilla theme here for the Stadium Series to make it unlike any other Stadium Series event ever, as we pair it with Gasparilla. So yeah, pretty cool. Pretty cool. And I'm trying. Thursday night is our Gasparilla game at the Lightning. So we got the Jets coming in Thursday night before we play on Sunday. Right. So I'm thinking of going full pirate costume.
Oh, you got to do that
for my thing. Yeah. And they evidently, and I just found out this morning that they want a Hockey Night Live pregame show to all of our peeps at 70,000 people at Raymond James Stadium. So, ergo, I will be now a part of the show. Like the last Super Bowl here, we had a nice vignette that was aired on CBS Sports. They came into our studio, which was pretty cool. Really enjoyed doing that. Did an essay for the Super Bowl pregame show. So for this stadium series, we're going to be able to do a little Lightning Hockey Night Live. So very excited about that.
Man, that's awesome. I can't wait to see that.
Yeah. So
you can be outside?
No, we're gonna tape it after the Thursday.
Yeah.
So yeah, being in full pirate gear, and I mean when I say full pirate, that's the whole makeup, the whole garb. Still got to put it together, but
got to get your ears pierced like me, JP, and wear the earrings like the pirates.
I'll go clip on.
Doesn't matter.
That'll be fine. All right, kids, whatever you want to. Oh, Lord, JS 813. Pirate JP Burgundy beard. Wow. Yeah. So a mix of a pirate and a Ron Burgundy.
JP
I don't know
Burgundy
if those
beard.
two go. You can't do a pirate accent with Ron Burgundy, can you? Aye.
But then you got to do a Canadian accent with it, eh?
San Diego. What's that?
You got to do a Canadian
No,
accent with a pirate accent, eh?
No, it's Gasparilla. It's full pirate accent.
But it's for the hockey game.
Yeah, but there's no Canadian pirates.
Sure there are.
There are?
Of course. There's pirates everywhere.
Yeah, there's some of those French pirates were pretty nasty.
Off of the coast of Newfoundland.
The Newfies. They're all Irish. You know that? If you go to Newfoundland, they all speak with an Irish. They do. Yeah. The
Irish
Newfies.
Canadian, eh?
Yeah. That's a mix.
That's an accent right there.
Yeah. All right. It's enough of the tomfoolery.
He's coming on the show later, by the way.
No, Jacob Reimer's coming on the show later. We're going to talk a little college basketball. We're delving into some hoops this year. We're doing some different stuff. So we'll take 11:30. Jacob's going to join us. In fact, I watched a little bit of the number one ranked Arizona taking on BYU last night. That's a game that got crazy late. They were down like 10 with a minute 10 to go, and then came back and got within 3 points. Utah or BYU did.
Yeah,
and they have a amazing freshman
fire this year, man.
Yeah, they just had 4 freshmen on Sunday. First time in I think ever 4 freshmen scored 40 points or more.
Yep,
on the same day.
Yeah,
and one of them was the kid from BYU, Dotson, whatever his name. Yeah. I'm not pronouncing that correct. He had a chance to make a big play last night and did not finish. So we'll talk some college hoops, kids. So yeah. All right, let's get into it, and we'll start with the Tampa Bay Lightning as they get a 2-0 win last night over the Mammoth of Utah, who by the way also were 9-1-1 coming into this game. So 2 red hot teams. Vamelka leads the league in goalie wins. Vasy leads the league in goals against now at 2.07 after last night, his 48th shutout of his career. And you could say he stole one last night because they had more jump than we did. They're a fast team. They're a really good up and coming team, Utah, and they're fast and they were getting after it. And I think he had 13 saves in the first period. It was really, really good, and some good ones, some really, really good ones. Late in the third, midway through the third, there was a breakaway, and Vasy he never gets, he just sits there and waits for them to make a move on the breakaways, and it just dismisses them with a little stick save, like it's like you're a little gnat. Get out of here with your little breakaway, thinking you're going to tie this game at 1. Get out of here. And that was Vasy last night. He was totally in control. They were really good on the penalty kill. I think 3 for 3 on the penalty kill last night. They had 2 power play goals. And Darren Radish, dare I say, is now 6th in the NHL in points scored without really playing the first month. I mean, if he would have played and started the first month, he probably would be right up there with Cal McCarr.
Oh, easy, yeah.
And their power play has really evolved now. And instead of Kucherov standing in on the right side, right side, just standing there waiting for the puck and dishing it out, he's now moving around and creating passing lanes and angles for other players. And his main weapon now has become this Darren Radish one-timer. And, typically, obviously, Darren, the defenseman, is doing that from the point. So last night, they're moving around, and Radish kind of comes to the left, and he moves in. He's almost down between the circles. And now he's, and just the feathering pass, and he's wide open. And Brian Engbaum, my partner on the postgame show last night, they do such a really good job of breaking it down. And Brian was like, when you make that pass, if it's 6 inches to the front, you can't really get enough steam on it. It's got to be, there's about a 6-inch to 8-inch window that you got to put it right between his feet where he can get the full swat going, the full slap shot and get his full power. If it's too far behind him, he's going to have to stop the puck. But Cooch is so good at just feathering that pass, not so fast that you can't get on it. It's just the perfect timing, and he's so good at that. And he set up Radish. You could just see it coming, and he just smoked it. 92, not from the point, like a good 10, 15 feet closer. And Vejmelka had no chance. He had no chance. It wasn't even a top corner shot. It was kind of just right under his blocker, but he had no chance. It was just so perfectly executed. And that gave him the 1-0 lead, which they have been so good at defending. They get another one late in the game with about 40 seconds left. Cirelli pops one in. So they win 2-0, and the long nightmare that was their one-game losing streak is over. So they're back on the winning side, and still not in first place. I mean, with this crazy streak, Detroit still, as of last night, had it by a point. And so, anyway.
No, they're in first place, JP.
They're back in first? Okay, yeah. Before
70 points.
night,
Detroit was 69. They're a point ahead. And they've also won 15 of 17, right? That's the count now with the 2 losses?
Yeah, so no. Well, they've got points in 16 of 17.
Right.
Yeah, so
outright wins, though. Yeah, 15 of 17, I think.
I mean, my Lord. And most of those games have been on the road.
Yeah.
That last night started a 6-game homestand. So, they can really, really take charge of this at the Atlantic as they head into the break, which you don't want to take a 2-week break when you're playing like this. But so be it. Off we go to the.
Some guys rested, and I mean,
nobody's getting rested. They're all playing.
Well, not all the guys.
We got 11 guys going. Well, luckily, for the Lightning anyway, Russia has not been invited to these games, so Vasy and Cooch will certainly get some rest.
Yeah.
Which will kill him. I mean, I can't imagine Cooch watching the Olympics. He probably won't even watch.
No,
it would just be killing him to watch.
Go fly fishing in Canada.
Yeah, I'm not getting into that politics shit, but I hate that Russians are not able to play hockey in this Olympic. I mean, it's a big miss.
Yeah.
It's a big miss. Obviously it gives Canada and the U.S. a better chance of winning, but it's not the full field, right?
Do we know what the Russian team would look like?
Holy shit! Are you kidding me?
I mean, can you imagine? Like,
I'm not saying they'd be better than Canada or the U.S., but obviously be right there. I think if Russia had a team, would they be the number 1 seed? I don't know.
It would be top 3, right?
Yeah, 1, 2, 3, Canada, U.S., Russia. But I think they might be 1.
Guess we'll never know.
Yeah, I don't know. But
thanks a lot, Putin.
Yeah, way to go, jerk.
Idiot. Probably gonna get bombed now.
Yeah, probably.
Because he listens to the show.
I know. So have your food tasters on standby. They're known for their quality poisonings.
Yes, they are.
The Ruskies, yeah. It's a great crowd last night. Rondé Barber was there. The great Brittany Lincecum was there, LPGA.
Oh, Brittany, yeah.
Brittany was there. So she has her event coming up on Monday. So we may have her on the show this week. Hopefully get Rondé on, too, to talk a little Valspar and Buccaneers. So nice time to transition. Unless do we have any Lightning comments this morning?
I'm looking. Radish for MVP. You read that I think already.
Wow, Radish for MVP. We were talking last night. Does he get any Norris Trophy votes? He's 6th in the league in scoring for the NHL, and he's playing tremendous defense as well. I haven't checked his plus minus yet, but I'm sure it's among the league leaders. He obviously is not going to win it, but for Darren Radish to get Norris votes this year. And here's the other thing. When Hetty comes back, and that's getting close, you can't put him on the top power play. Can you? How do you take Radish off the power play right now?
Man, that's a good problem to have, though.
Yeah, absolutely. But
JP comments here. Alejandro wants to know, JP, since you work for the Lightning, do you know the uniforms they'll wear Thursday? Since it's Gasparilla night, the Lightning will wear Gasparilla themed jerseys, or that's safe for Stadium Series?
No, I'm guessing they'll wear their black Gasparilla jerseys that have been so very, very popular. I'm guessing that's what they will wear. And then the Stadium Series, obviously, they'll wear those, which are just fantastic. I mean, everybody's wearing that gear.
Those are freaking awesome.
Yeah, I got to go get me a hat over there at least. I just love those colors. Really, really good.
They're the Rays colors, basically, right? I mean, they're the Rays colors. Yeah,
they kind of are. Yeah, a little different blues, but really, really, everybody loves them. I mean, my God, they must have made a fortune on those jerseys.
I got to go find me a Braden Point jersey now. Another one.
Yeah. He hadn't been able to wear them. He won't be able to wear them because I don't think he's playing Sunday. I wouldn't think. And will he be back for the Olympics? Now, I think Bradley did tell me he was skating the other day, if I'm not mistaken. I have to double check that. Hedman was out there on the ice. Mm-hmm. So these guys are getting close to coming back. McDonough's been out there. They're getting close to coming back, but I don't know. I mean, it's going to be tough to get them in the lineup. You don't want to screw anything up. That's for damn sure.
JP Bonaventure says, sorry, go ahead. Do John's.
The Big Cats since December 20th, 12-0-1, 173 goals against, save percentage, 927 and one shutout. Is that good? That's pretty good.
Seems really good.
Yeah, he's back to the Vezina. And the great thing about this is, he's rested. He's taken a lot of games off, for him this year, and that's good. So I think we need to keep him this way. Johansson's played great with the last game notwithstanding. So yeah, they're in really, really good shape. And I'm excited to see where they go from here. This is going to be an exciting season. I hope the 2-week break doesn't screw them up.
Bonaventure says Lightning need to fire the cannons when they score a goal during the Stadium Series. How cool would that be?
Of course they're going to fire the cannons. They're going to fire the cannons before the game, hopefully during the game, and after the game.
Just don't hit the ice.
Yeah,
it's fragile enough.
Will the sound crack the ice? I don't think so. But whoever's making the ice has to just be absolutely thrilled with the weather. That's going to come our way, and the fact that we're all going to have to be bundled up to go to the game is kind of cool.
Yeah,
it's kind of really, really cool. Because that's not the norm.
Players wearing their hats, their little hats over their helmets and stuff like they do when they play outside is really fun.
813 guy says, Sue's got it better than your Lightning. You could say they're electric. Yes.
813 guy, this is for you.
There you go. All right. Let's kind of move over here to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who will announce Zach Robinson as their new offensive coordinator. As I mentioned, I was chatting with Rondé last night, and we were talking about Zach Robinson. He had a long conversation with Raheem Morris, his buddy, and Raheem just loves Zach. Obviously, Zach, he hired Zach to be his offense coordinator, but is very, very high. Thinks the Bucs got a great guy in him, and he's really going to be the next Liam Cohen, the next great play caller in this league. And if you look at his work in Atlanta, I know all of you didn't like the choice because he came from the Falcons, but if you do a blank resume here and look at what he did, Bijan Robinson led the league in yards from scrimmage, so he knows how to use his dynamic players. So input Bucky in that situation. And I think, Tyler Algiers is a free agent. I think that'd be a great pickup, and obviously familiar with Zach Robinson, had a 1,000-yard season. I don't think that was under Zach. That was, 3 years ago, maybe? So really, really good back. Very Rashad White-like. I think that would be a great fit. You get this offensive line healthy. And the main thing is Baker. And as Ronnie was kind of explaining it, this McVay offense, the Zach Robinson offense, really gives the quarterback a ton of autonomy at the line. And the idea is you always have an answer for whatever defense they're in. You're going to have a perfect play for that defense. That's the goal of the McVay offense. And it's, and that sounds, well, isn't that that is what every offensive coordinator does, but a lot of them don't trust the quarterback with this much information. And when you have a veteran quarterback like Baker Mayfield and a guy that's been in literally 9 different systems in 9 different years, now it's going to be 10, he can handle this type of volume and he's really good at the line of scrimmage. So you take advantage of that. And also as athleticism, Baker is a rollout bootleg guy. He is at his best when he is out of the pocket. And this wide zone scheme that Zach loves, that's what he does. He wasn't able to do it with Penix, or because Penix was as I've kind of been told, he couldn't grasp it all. He just couldn't grasp it all. Too young of a quarterback, could not grasp the entire system. So Zach was a little handicapped at what he could do at the line of scrimmage. Cousins was better, but he was immobile, and he couldn't. That's why they had to run so much pistol formation. So Baker is the perfect quarterback for this particular system. And you're going to see, 8 to 12 times a game, him out on the boot, the naked boot out in front with a wide open field with a run option or, multiple options in different routes. And getting that, a smaller quarterback like Baker out where you have great throwing lanes, your quarterback rating just goes up dramatically. And it helps your run game because the backside has to honor that bootleg all the time. So you don't get as much flow to the ball. And think about that with Bucky's speed and how he hits the hole. If that backside's not flowing fast, you get a couple of good blocks, you're out the gate, you're gone. So I think this offense that Zach runs is perfect for Baker Mayfield in so many ways. And we'll find out today. We'll have a chance to go ask him some questions over there at One Buck Place at 1:00. Really looking forward to that. From everything we've heard, this is a really, and he's an experienced play caller, which makes all the difference in the world. We pointed that out. Canales was not. We were at, 20.1 points per game. Liam was 30 points per game. Go back to a neophyte in Josh Grizzard, 20 points a game. So it makes a difference. It makes a huge, huge difference. And if this team can get back to scoring 29, 30 points a game, doesn't matter how horrible the Todd Bowles defense is. You're going to win a lot of football games. So that's the good news. And there's some hope there. This is going to be a team that – now, listen, Jason's going to go all in on trying to fix this defense with personnel. Again, trying to get a free agent, legitimate pass rusher to come here, it's going to be next to impossible because the way the Bucs run their scheme – where they're constantly checking out of situations where, the call could be as an edge rusher, you're going to the quarterback. They motion the opposite way. Now you got to drop into coverage, and good teams who understand this can basically scheme you out of the game for pass rushing because those are the rules that work. So, and that's why I wouldn't think any free agent pass rusher would want to come here because they'll be dropping into coverage half the time. Or 20% of the time, or whatever it is. Those guys, they're kind of like running backs. And remember, say there's 30, 35 passes a game, right? 20 of those are going to be two-step, get the ball out, which you have no chance to get a sack. You're only going to get between 10 and 15, usually a game, where you have a legitimate chance at a sack. And if you're dropping out of coverage in 4 or 5 of those, I mean, your opportunities to get sacks from the edge are severely limited, which is one of the reasons we haven't had a lot of sacks from the edge. And you're also, in terms of looking for certain guys, you got to have guys that are athletic enough to drop into coverage. And maybe that discounts a lot of different edge rushers who are bigger guys that aren't comfortable doing that. So our pursuit of this just absolute monstrous edge rusher in this scheme is going to be very difficult. Not something you all want to hear, I know, but it's up to Jason Light to fix this defense.
Look at it this way, too. And for potential free agents, they're going to look at Hassan Reddick's season and go, why do I want to be a part of that on the defensive side of the ball?
Right. And Hassan was a smaller guy. You thought he would thrive in that type of system, but you got to have some want to as well. And you got to want to be able to rush the passer and play the run.
And that's the problem. We don't know how much of that was he didn't want to and how much of it was he wasn't able to because of the scheme. Right. How much of this was on Reddick, how much of this was on the scheme. And we don't know.
Yeah. So we'll see. I mean, hopefully this promise to change the scheme is true and it'll happen. I have my doubts, and we'll probably see a lot of the same stuff. Guys running wide open in the secondary, and that's that. Hopefully they can find an inside linebacker, that an experienced one, and that will help the defense. But today is about the offense, and I'm sure Baker will probably be at the press conference. Maybe we'll get a chance to talk to him as well. And we'll bring all that to you on socials and to tomorrow's show. So, and we mentioned this yesterday. Brian Picucci going to the Jaguars, stolen away by Liam Cohen and the Jags. So you're losing one of your key offensive line coaches, which is not a good thing. Not a good thing, unfortunately. But Zach will have somebody I know that he wants to bring. I don't know if Carberry is obviously still on the staff, but who will he be bringing? The quarterback's coach was fired, so TJ Yates, we believe, is going to be the new quarterback coach. And I think there was another staff member he's bringing along. But we'll find out today and get a better feel for what this offense is going to look like. But I'm excited. I think, by the way, Kyle Pitts is also a free agent.
Yep. You already said you don't want him, JP. I've tried to bring him up a couple times this season already, and you're like, nope, don't want him. Don't want him.
Well, I mean, the problem is he's not playing the Bucs defense every week.
Right.
I mean, he'll be great in practice. He'll torch us in practice. But how good will he be on Sunday? Look, I think Zach has a good feel for what he can do. And if you feel like he fits in this offense, listen, Cade Otton, he is who he is. I think he's a good tight end. I'm not going to say he's a great tight end. I think he's good. I think he's above average. He's got good rapport with Baker. Last year with Josh, the tight ends were just not vibing. They just weren't. And I think Zach Robinson will use them much better. And I think Cade will be much more dangerous. But I don't think Cade's getting big money anywhere. Do you? You think anybody's paying him big money?
No.
Maybe you bring in both. Maybe you have Kyle and Cade Otton. That might be a nice little tandem right there. So I think you can improve the position, no question about that.
I think if you keep Cade Otton and you've got Kyle Pitts or anybody in front of Cade Otton, I think you are. I don't know what the right word is. I think you're inhibiting the development of your younger tight ends already.
Yeah.
And I think they've got some talent at tight end behind Cade Otton.
Yeah, Devin Culp really flashed, at the end of his rookie year and had a good training camp as well. He's a talented receiver.
Yeah.
Not a great blocker, but a talented receiver. And I think a good offensive coordinator can make use of his ability. So much in this league, we're seeing 2 and 3 tight end sets. And when you have, different types of tight ends, you can really do a lot of different things and do creative things. So I'm interested to see what Zach has, and I'll ask him about the tight ends today and where he thinks they fit in, because they were not really a big part of this offense. What did we get our first tight end touchdown like week 15? I think it was.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's not because Baker doesn't like throwing to him in the red zone. Our red zone was awful last year. And frankly, that's if he has a weakness, and we got this from Dave Archer last week, that was a part of it. I got another text from one of the media members in Atlanta that I want to share with you guys vis-a-vis Zach Robinson. He said he was in a good rhythm with Cousins until he got hurt last year. Never vibed with Penix. Third down percentage was abysmal. He said, I was sitting behind the bench in Germany, and Penix is yelling, get the effing play call in. Never meshed the run game. Rumors were the O-line coach called the majority of the run plays. He'll probably be okay with Baker. And he said Penix couldn't play under center. Cousins could win 4 in a row down the stretch. So there were issues. There was definitely issues in Atlanta. There, it wasn't all roses. A lot of the fans were not happy with Zach. To me, I think it was kind of, like with Josh Grizzard, you're dealt a hand that's not as far from perfect. I mean, you're working with Penix, who's just not equipped to handle such a complicated offense and didn't really get it from what I've been told. And then you have Cousins to be two totally different quarterbacks that one's left-handed, one's right-handed, one's immobile, one can run. I mean, one knows more, the other one doesn't. I mean, you're working with two completely different quarterback skill sets and trying to mesh them. I think that would be very, very difficult for an offensive coordinator to get maximum production out of that. And I still think, their numbers were really, really good for most of the year. So, except in the red zone. There were, yards and passing and all that, but their red zone, their scoring was not. I think they were 24th in scoring. So we got to figure that out. And with better personnel, maybe he does. Excuse me. All right, let's take a break. We'll come back on the other side and get to your questions and comments. We got some raised questions in here. We'll hit that as well. Whatever you guys want to bring to the table. Darian Mensah, Duke quarterback, headed to Miami.
Court.
Yeah. Well, no, they've settled it.
Yeah,
Miami's good. I mean, we're halfway through the semester. Do they even go to class anymore? I guess if you're the Miami quarterback, you don't have to. So we'll talk about that. We are brought to you by the great folks at Genesis of Tampa. I know Mike Murphy's very excited to get Darian Mensah as their new quarterback for next year. Better than Carson Beck, that's for sure. Genesis of Tampa is a great place for you to go and get a test drive. You could win a $2,500 gas card, gas for the year, just by going by and taking a test drive. They will 10x your entries for that gas card. Always great prices, great lease deals going on right now. For the Genesis GV70 and 80, they are tremendous cars, technology, luxury, value above everything else. You will be shocked at the price and what you get for it. Genesis of Tampa, 801 East Bears Avenue. Head on by and tell them JP sent you. Back in 3. Experience the art of driving at Genesis of Tampa, where luxury meets innovation and every detail is crafted for you. From the bold G70 to the refined GV80, Genesis delivers power, elegance, and technology years ahead of its time. Book service online, and our Genesis Experience Advisors will pick you up and drop off your vehicle. If available, you can enjoy a courtesy car while yours gets a complimentary interior vacuum plus a generous offer for your trade. Every new Genesis comes with the Miracle Advantage Plan, 10 years or 250,000 miles of powertrain warranty and 4 years of complimentary maintenance. Visit us at 801 East Bears Avenue or online at genesisoftampa.com. Genesis of Tampa, luxury redefined. Italiano Insurance would like to congratulate the Bucs on their 50th anniversary season. And you know what? We've been here for every season and then some, over 60 years in business. We've seen some smart coaches with great game plans, but if you don't have flood insurance or business insurance, that's a terrible game plan. That could ruin you financially. You don't want to take that L. So call 813-877-7799 and let their friendly agents quarterback your insurance and save you big money. Italiano also sponsors our FSU report every week, so go Noles. 813-877-7799 or go to italianoinsurance.com.
Sports fans, it's time to gear up. Head to fanstreamsports.com and check out our brand new merchandise store. We're talking bold t-shirts, 3/4 zips, hoodies, hats, mugs, and more. Everything you need to rep your favorite shows and your favorite crew. Whether you're rolling with the JP Peterson Show in Tampa Bay, From the Rough in Dallas, the Tim May Show featuring Clay Hall, or the Jeff Thidoff Show in Ohio, or any of our Fanstream Sports original programming, we've got the perfect look for game day and every day. So don't wait. fanstreamsports.com. Click merch and grab your gear now. Wear the stream, live the stream, fanstreamsports.com.
JP here for Riveters, the official sports bar and grill of the JP Peterson Show. We're located just south of Ray J and Steinbrenner Field, so it's a great pre- and post-game spot, and the happy hour is amazing. Monday through Friday, 3 to 7. Check out these specials. $3 Bud Light drafts, $4 domestic bottles, $5 wells, $6 premium wells, $6 cocktails like margaritas. That's unheard of. And the Riveters food is freshly made daily. No freezers. Happy hour food specials include $3.50 tacos and barbecue sliders. $6 you get edamame or chips with the beer cheese, which is amazing. $8 buffalo chicken dip, my favorite. The truffle fries, chili cheese fries, also $8 at happy hour. as well as other specials throughout the week, including Taco Tuesdays. You get $3 tacos, and Wing Wednesdays, 7 o'clock to 1 a.m. in the morning. You get our amazing wings, 5 for $5 and $5 wells and wines. That's a good Wednesday night. So if you're tired of the preppy, overpriced, generic sports bars, come see the amazing, friendly bartenders and staff at Riveters, where customer service really matters. Riveters, just south of where the Rays and Bucs play. We'll see you there. Hey, kick off the new year by impressing her with a real diamond, a natural diamond, from Golden Diamond Source. Don't start with a fake diamond, guys. That's a really, really bad idea. And if you're ready to pop the question, find the perfect engagement ring at the Golden Diamond Source, just like I did, just like Nick did. It is the best selection, the best staff, the best everything. And discover the new Emily collection by Emily Johnson Weintraub, a sleek and modern jewelry line that makes everyday gifts absolutely extraordinary. And by the way, gold prices have never been higher, so turn that old unused gold into cash or a stunning new piece. Just take it on down to the Golden Diamond Source and trade it in. Lots to get done at the Golden Diamond Source this new year. Start with an engagement ring from the greatest, the Golden Diamond Source. 3800 Alberton Road, always online at the Golden Diamond Source.
It's the love you give only at Golden Diamond Source.
Let's go.
Right now, back to the show on FanStream Sports.
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show, brought to you by the great folks at Italiano Insurance, 813-877-7799. Listen, guys, you never know what's going to happen. Ice storms, right? Trees falling on your house. You got to be prepared to make sure that you have enough coverage. Number one, the right coverage, getting all your discounts. 40% of you do not have enough coverage. So make sure you do. Call Italiano Insurance, 813-877-7799. Make sure you are fully insured. They will also shop your insurance around. There are companies coming in offering lower rates on auto, on home, etc. So make sure that you are up to date and getting the most discounts, because insurance is through the freaking roof, right? So save as much as you can. It's not what you make, it's what you keep, kids. So go to ItalianoInsurance.com and give them a call. Let them do all the work. You save all the money. Sounds good to me. Hey, Timmy, I wanted to talk a little bit about college football.
Ooh.
And over the last week, we've had a couple of very interesting situations go on in the transfer portal. Darian Mensah, who is the Duke quarterback, who led them to the ACC championship, by the way, and really a great turnaround for that team. And he's a very talented quarterback. He was at Tulane a couple of years ago, transferred to Duke, signed a 2-year deal worth $4 million, and then decided, you know what, I want to go to Miami because they're throwing money at me. So he petitioned to leave, and Duke said, nope, you are contracted to be here for 2 years. And so they have reached a settlement. Settlement terms were not disclosed, but in the article, this is from On3, Mensah threw for 3,600 yards, 30 touchdowns with a 68% completion rate in 2025, lead the Blue Devils to the ACC championship. His total passing yards ranked number 3 in FBS, leading the ACC. He was 5th in FBS and passing touchdowns as well. Transferred to Duke in 24 following a breakout redshirt freshman season at Tulane. Blah, 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 blah. This is from the Duke folks in a statement. They said, we are committed to fulfilling all promises and obligations to Duke makes to our student athletes when we enter our contractual agreements with them, and we expect the same in return. Enforcing those agreements is a necessary element of ensuring predictability and structure for athletic programs. You think? It is nonetheless a difficult choice to pursue legal action against a student and teammate. For this reason, we sought to resolve the matter fairly and quickly. So that's why they had to go to court, and now they've, I guess, reached a settlement, and it's a lot of hoo-ha, frankly, you know?
Yeah.
And here we are, January 27th. Like, semesters typically start, the first week of January? Like, I'm acting like there's some academic element to all this, and there really isn't anymore. And
You'd like to think there is, though.
There really isn't. Carson Beck said he hadn't been to a class in, year and a half?
We already graduated, though.
Yeah, but I mean, how shouldn't he be enrolled in master's or some type of
No, you're eligible.
education?
Your eligibility with the NCAA has nothing to do with your enrollment.
Well, it used to. It used to. That's the point. You used to have to have a full, I think it was 12 hours of classes in order to be eligible and be in good standing in those classes. So I guess, it's not anymore. That's the way it is. But
I mean, part of what screwed that up, though, was the COVID year, right? That screwed it. But that's all ending now. There's nobody has COVID years left. They're all gone for the most part.
But the thing is, what we've established now is anybody who sues the NCAA over eligibility wins. So until we get some type of guardrails, everybody's going to win. And so you can play 7, 8, 9, 10. We're going to have guys that have been playing college football for 10 years. At this point, there really are no rules. Look at what happened with Clemson.
I mean, look at Trinidad Chambliss.
Yeah.
He didn't win.
Didn't he? Did he not win?
Not last I heard. He was denied.
I thought that he did win. I'm mistaken.
The initial ruling was he was denied. So unless that's changed in the last week or so, I haven't heard.
I think he decided maybe he just would go pro instead of continue. But if you take it far enough, I think they're almost undefeated because of the way the players are treated like employees, and most of the judges just rule, you can freely go wherever you can to work. So it's all a mess. And good for Miami. I mean, they've got a great system down. They're going to go out, they're going to recruit along the line of scrimmage and then augment with some great players. They went and stole the Ole Miss edge rusher. I think it was the top kid in the class. And now they're getting Mensah, who I think is probably the best quarterback out there, frankly. And here's the other thing. So FSU hires John Garrett from Duke. All right, John Garrett brokered the deal to get Mensah from Tulane to Duke on a 2-year contract. So when Garrett came to Florida State screwed up in that I think they hired him 2 days before the portal opened. I don't know why they couldn't get that deal done, weeks ahead of time when it was critical. But the scuttlebutt was, and I'm like, they're hiring Garrett from Duke. Maybe we can get Mensah as our quarterback at Florida State. And I was told, no. He's under a 2-year deal. He's locked down at Duke. He can't go anywhere. And I'm sure that's what Garrett was telling everybody because he did the deal. Yeah. Well, evidently it wasn't locked down. So Miami comes in, uber aggressive, and gets the guy. And Florida State's sitting there with Ashton Daniels, a third-tier guy that they got from Auburn, a cast-off from Auburn. Now, is he going to be good in this Gus offense? Who knows? People think so. He's got some talent, played well against Alabama. We saw some good stuff. We never know, right? Just because Mensah's got a better track record is all there is to it. And maybe he didn't want to come play in this offense anyway, and I don't blame him. But the fact that FSU had this in with the guy that freaking brokered the deal, and you watch him just go to Miami and probably kick your ass because I think he's got a couple of years of eligibility left.
Yeah, he's only played 2 seasons. Yeah,
he could go to pro too, but and he's going to kick your ass, and that's all about NIL. That's all about being able to recruit guys and pay them. And you lost out to Miami again. So whatever's going on at FSU, it ain't good. They've gotten some wins in this portal cycle. It'll be interesting to see what this team looks like next year. But I'm not hopeful. I'm not hopeful for anything. And the fact that you're just getting beat out at the quarterback position, and clearly they have not gotten quarterback right in the last, since Jordan Travis went down, it's been crap quarterback city at Florida State. And Mike Norvell cannot identify what a good quarterback looks like. All the ones he's recruited have been terrible. And even the ones that didn't play at Florida State and moved on to other places haven't done anything. He does not recruit quarterbacks well. So here we go again, and you're losing a guy in Darian Mensah to a chief rival that you should have had the inside track for.
And here's an issue I have with all, and it's not this particular situation because this is just the college football landscape that we have right now, right? Players are free agents. I don't know that any so-called contract that they have with their current program is watertight. Clearly they thought the Duke contract was watertight. Well, it's not. Maybe that's because John Garrett is the one that brokered it and put it together, and he put loopholes in it on purpose. I don't know. I don't know why that happened. But here's what I hate. And look, again, I'm on record. I love NIL. I love the transfer portal. I love that these guys are getting paid. I don't like how much they're getting paid, but I love that these guys are getting some money, and I love that they have some say in where they play. I don't mind that at all. Obviously, it needs regulated. But one of my favorite things of covering college football has always been recruiting, and it's always been quarterback recruiting. You have all of these 5-star quarterbacks coming out of high school and, whatever state they're in. And the game was always, where's he going to play? Who's he going to commit to? Right. I'm afraid, and I think this is already happening, that quarterback recruiting in college football is going away permanently. Why would anybody spend a butt ton of money to go out and recruit and schmooze this guy that they want to come play for them when all they got to do is go to the transfer portal next year and find a guy that's already done it and been successful and throw money at him? Why would a college recruit a quarterback? For instance, Darian Mensah was recruited heavily by half the freaking schools in the country. He committed to Tulane, a good program, a really good program. Goes to Tulane, plays a year. Now he's going to Duke. Or then he goes to Duke, plays a year. Now he's going to go to Miami and then probably go pro, right? Well, Miami has the benefit of the recruitment of Tulane and in a lesser part Duke, because they've got to actually watch him play at that level.
Right.
Why would these big time college programs even worry about recruiting quarterbacks out of high school now? What's the point?
Well, I think you're hoping that you get the elite talent. Like you get the guy that it's kind of like the NFL draft. You have the opportunity to draft Caleb Williams. And so if you can get him as a freshman, you want to get him. He's an elite talent and you hope that he stays. Right. Chances are he's not, unless he plays well as a freshman. And even if he plays well as a freshman, like Mensah, he's going somewhere else. You got to retain him every single year. It's a terrible, terrible game. It's a terrible, terrible precedent we're setting. And, I just think it's really, really bad for college football because
look at Arch Manning. Arch Manning, the number one recruit in the country for a couple of years, even as a junior in high school, a sophomore in high school, commits to Texas. They got their guy. They got the Manning. He has a sucky freshman year. First year there. First year starting, not his freshman year. His first year starting, sophomore year. He could have gone in the transfer portal wherever he wanted to. Anybody would have taken him, even based on that horrible year because of the way it ended, right? He ended on a high note for sure.
Yeah.
Texas is out all that recruiting money, now, if that's what he decided to do. And what I feel like Arch Manning did by staying, I kind of feel like that's going to be the exception, not the rule for a lot of these guys.
Yeah. I hate it. Yeah. Well, and if you're evaluating talent, it's much easier to evaluate a quarterback after he's actually played in college.
Exactly.
Because you don't know how he's going to handle, the increase in speed and everything else. So now you're just probably scouring colleges for quarterbacks. And you hope if you draft one, he comes to your program and loves it and wants to stay. But you're going to have to up if he keeps playing well, you're going to have to up your money each and every year. And all that has to change.
Yep.
James says they have buyouts, guys. Look at the Ole Miss Clemson linebacker from Cal situation. Yeah, the Clemson situation. And by the way, Scott Hamilton's going to come on tomorrow with us and talk about that. The whole Clemson situation where they had the linebacker, they signed him. The kid was enrolled at Clemson, and Pete Golding was texting the kid directly and sending him pictures of a $1 million contract while he was in class at Clemson. And Clemson, Dabo told the GM to call their GM and say, hey, tell Coach Golding to stop tampering. I know he's a new coach and maybe he doesn't know all the rules, but we don't do this. And it just kept on and kept on and kept on the whole week until Ole Miss finally got him to leave Clemson. And it was, the way Dabo described it, it was really kind of ridiculous.
Yeah.
And
very shady.
Very shady. And I don't even, what are the tampering rules? Do we even know? And I'm pretty sure that I think this is kind of common in the SEC. Once again, it's honor among thieves. There's no such thing as tampering. You just want a guy, you could just bother him to death until you get him. And these kids are supposed to be in school. And meanwhile, you got head coaches from other teams texting him while they're in class, sending him pictures of $1 million contract. And he ended up going back to Ole Miss after being enrolled for a week at Clemson. And by the way, when you get enrolled, you get the playbook, you get, you're just right. I'm guessing when you do all that, now you're going back. That's just bizarre. Absolutely bizarre situation. Hunter Tubbs says same thing happened with LSU and Princewell. He already signed with Ole Miss, and LSU paid Ole Miss $600K buyout and signed him. I mean, now we're the buyouts. Wow, crazy. King Cook says Dabo isn't using the portal and is still doing better than Norvell. I know, so
he
true.
used it last year.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah,
a little bit.
Starting to.
Still hates it.
King Cole says, do we wait a year and try to get Signetti from Indiana to come to FSU? He ain't leaving Indiana, King Cook. I think that's pretty clear.
I think you got a lifetime contract there for whatever he wants, whatever year.
64 years old. I don't think he will, but you never know. I mean, they've got money. He'll never be fired. They won a championship there. I mean, why would he leave? Except why you want to be in Bloomington. King Cook also says Norvell is just killing our Seminole program. It's ridiculous how this man can't go get a damn QB1 to get us back on top. It is. And, and you could start right there. He cannot get quarterback correct. He doesn't know how to develop them, doesn't know how to identify them, and hopefully that's been taken away from him. It's so the situation with Bowles and Norvell are so similar. I mean, they're extremely. I mean, two fan bases that just can't stand the head coach.
Yeah.
Two organizations that don't want to buy him out. And I would say maybe money's more than a factor in Tampa Bay than I originally thought. But it's really weird to see that. It's clear and obvious in both situations that the guy at the top is not getting the job done. And yet he stays on. Yeah. Hunter Tubbs says Trinidad filed the memo for support of motion for preliminary injunction yesterday in his case versus the NCAA. Injunction hearing expected before February 15. He'll be a rebel next year. He'll win. Everybody that goes up against the NCAA wins in this current climate. So that's the way it is, unfortunately. King Cook also says, as long as the coaches get to jump from school to school, so should the players. This will force these coaching staffs to become better recruiters. I just don't know. I just don't know if this portability works. It doesn't work. That's why they don't allow it in the NFL. It's just, it doesn't work. I understand we don't get an Indiana story without it. And I think that's great for college football. It has increased parity. There's no question about it. That said, the constant churn of rosters, it's hard for fans to buy in. Very hard for fans to buy in. And I think you've seen that happen in college basketball. College basketball
about to go there. Yep.
Was just, I mean, it was at one time probably the fourth largest sport.
Yep.
And it has fallen so fast because back in the day, you could follow these super teams. I covered those North Carolina teams with Antoine Jameson and Vince Carter and that whole group. Those guys stayed together for 3 years. Same thing at Duke. Same thing at Florida State with Bobby Sura and Charlie Ward and Sam Cassell and Doug Edwards. They stayed together, and you get to know the players and you get to know the teams. You're emotionally bought in. But every year you come out, you don't know anybody on the floor. You have no idea who these guys are. Every year you got to get to know them. I don't have time for that. And I work in the freaking business.
Yeah.
And fans don't. Every year you're changing quarterbacks and all your star players are moving from one to the next. How do you develop any loyalty to your team? And even just fan interest. If you just don't know who the guys are, it's a very big, important part of sports.
You have to just cheer for the uniform, JP. You can't cheer for the players anymore. You got to cheer for the uniform now.
Which I get in college, but I don't think it's sustainable long term. I think people will lose interest.
And I was going to go there with college basketball because, back, like you said, back in the day, guys couldn't go to the NBA after one season in college, right? They had to stay for 2 or 3 or 4 years. And that's why you had these super teams that could form. And fans got to know the players and cheer for the players and then follow them to the NBA. And then you became a fan of them in the NBA. But now that guys can just play one and done in college basketball, to me, it's contributed greatly to the demise of college basketball fandom across the country, and with legitimate reason. And look, I'm not a college basketball super fan by any stretch, but I love college basketball. And I consider myself probably a little smarter, a little more aware of the game than maybe the average fan, right? Just because I watch so much of it. Sometimes, even this year, we're in January, late January, almost February of the season now, and I still will go watch a highlight of a game, a team that I don't necessarily cover, and I'll hear a guy's name that I recognize from last year, and I'm like, oh, he plays for Utah now. Wow, I had no idea. Yeah. I didn't have it. I had no idea. And it's just, to me, that's the part that's so shaky and so sketchy, and now college football is becoming the same thing.
Right. And the fact that I could just reel off those names and those teams means something. Yeah. I mean, it does. It's like that's where your fandom comes from. And by the way, the quality of play is so much better when these guys stay together for a certain amount of time. I don't know if you've noticed, but the quality of play in college football and basketball has dropped dramatically. Mm-hmm. It's just, it's not clean as it used to be. It's just not as good. Because teams don't stay together, and continuity improves performance. There's no, in team sports, I mean, that's an obvious stated fact. So I do think that there needs to be a major, and I think there will be, and I think we're getting closer and closer to getting some legislation that will give college sports an antitrust exemption, and then they can put some guardrails on their transfers, contracts, etc., and make them stick. And I think that will be a plus for the entire sport in general. All right, well, let's get to some of the comments here.
Let Nick Saban fix it.
Yes, absolutely. Rick says crazy because McVay, spelling, evolved his offense with 2 and 3 tight end sets. Yeah, that's where it's going. And, yeah, I want to see a nice 6'5", big arm dude running down the field. I mean, I love Cade, but it's a little spindly. Give me one of these big, thick tight ends that can block people, a Gronkowski type, and also get down the field. I'm not saying they're growing on trees, but I could really use one in this offense. I'd like to see one. I haven't really jumped into the draft yet, but I've seen some guys in college that would look really good in Buccaneers uniforms for sure. John Hill says, happy 270th birthday to Mozart. Wow, he's old. Really old.
He was gone too soon, JP. He died at what, like 35 years old?
He did, didn't he?
Yeah, he died pretty young. Even for back then, I was a little young. But
his child prodigy years, like, wasn't he like composing symphonies at like 3 years old?
Yeah, 3 or 5 or something like that. Yeah, ridiculous.
Yeah. That's a very interesting story.
I showed all my kids that, when they were young. I'm like, what are y'all doing playing your video games?
Right,
why aren't you composing symphonies, idiots?
Yeah. A Bucs basement is in this morning. Says it's such a shame what's going on with the Bucs, and I think the most frustrating thing is that nothing changes. Bowles is still the DC. He still has a lot of his cronies who shouldn't be coaching. Yeah, we're kind of moving on from that Bucs basement. I know we could talk about that every single day, but because it is what it is, and it's not changing. I thought that there was an opportunity last week that something might change, but it didn't. And this is what we have for the next year. So now we're going to start concentrating on bringing in new players, and it is what it is. But I'm not going to let this show turn into what Todd Bowles bitch fest every single day. And nobody wants to hear that anymore. It is what it is. We'll bring it up when it's appropriate, obviously.
Sure.
In analysis, but we're going to try not to do every show based on that. I get it. James says, I never thought I would see the day how FSU has fallen. I witnessed a head coach who single-handedly ruined the program. Norvell is a lot to blame. There's no question about it. There have been a lot of articles written on what the hell's happened to Florida State, and I think it's multi-pronged. There's no question about it. But I think obviously Norvell is at the center of it. There's no question about it. The snub broke this program in many, many ways. And remember, Florida State was really doing well in recruiting, and when the snub happened, they lost a lot of big-time recruits. And every program looks at Florida State if they do negative recruiting. Every program doesn't. And when they're fighting with a Florida State for a guy, they're just going to like, hey man, the snub just kind of proved where FSU is at. And if you go there, you're going to be a second-class citizen. And they have not executed their NIL very well at all. Some of that's on Mike Alford, the way the whole thing is set up, and they've got to pivot and be better. There's no question about it. But yeah, you got to be buttoned up, and hopefully John Garrett will do that for him. John Hill says NIL will cause mental health issues down the road. These young adults are getting too much money, then post-college and no pro positions. They need a regular job that pays $40,000, no car, no apartment, no degree. And the other part is all these kids are jumping into the portal, and a lot of them aren't welcomed back. They're marginal players who are talked into going into the portal by their agents, or just looking because the agents don't make any more money unless they move to another school, right? So they're constantly telling these kids they need to move, they need to look at their options, and sometimes their options run out, and they're left, with no place to play. So, again, but listen, that's on the player too. You don't have to enter the portal. So be smart. All right, let's take a break. We'll come back on the other side, do more of your comments. Want to get into some of the Super Bowl preps. We got 2 weeks to talk about this. We'll also be talking some college basketball with Jacob Reimer at 11:30. A reminder, folks, that if you're looking to get engaged or get a nice shiny watch, one of those big baller watches, they got a great selection at the Gold and Diamond Source. Great local company. And if you're looking to get engaged, by the way, you want to start your relationship with a real diamond, not a fake diamond. Really bad idea. And you get the best of the best at the Gold and Diamond Source. They have a great selection. You can design something if you want. Anything to do with jewelry, you can get done at the Gold and Diamond Source. And don't forget, gold has never been at a higher price. So get that old gold jewelry, bring it into the Gold and Diamond Source. You will be shocked at what you get for your gold jewelry. Go on over there, 3800 Ulmerton Road, about 15, 20 minutes from downtown Tampa, the great Gold and Diamond Source. Back in 3. Well, the folks at Third Generation Plumbing and AC want to say thanks for making them so dadgum busy. Of course, advertising on your favorite Tampa Bay sports talk show helps, but it's their incredible customer service, honesty, and integrity that have earned them tons of 5-star reviews. And now you could be part of the team at Third Generation. Yes, they are so slammed, they need to hire more certified AC technicians and plumbers. It's a great family business to work for. My buddy John Rodriguez runs an old school family business since 1995. They pay well, give you all the holidays off, and they offer great benefits. No cold corporate atmosphere here. You're part of the family. If this sounds cool to you, call them and apply at 813-961-8024, or you can email your resume in at thirdgenerationplumbing.com. Just go to the website, you'll see the button, email them, or call them at 813-961-8024. And don't forget about the $169 yearly maintenance special. It's a no-brainer, guys. thirdgenerationplumbing.com, and they also do AC.
Ciao, Paolo Tini here, owner of Caffè Paradiso, voted number 3 People's Choice Award on Open Table. I want to thank all our loyal family of customers that have been enjoying our great traditional Italian dishes we make from scratch every day. It's a great family story we're proud of. Our family moved from Rimini, Italy in 1984. My dad, Caesar, started Donatello, and that's where I got the start in the restaurant business. I started Caffè Paradiso on South McDill in 1995, and we've been there ever since. From our traditional ossobuco, a veal slow roast for 4 hours, to our daily fresh catch, the Gruppo Paradiso, with a piccata sauce and lobster claw meat, homemade pasta like lasagna, farfalle salchicha, which is a bow tie pasta homemade with fresh sausage. Hold on a minute, JP's favorite.
I love it.
So come and have a glass of wine with me on South McDill. Get a reservation on Open Table and see see all our 5-star reviews. Ciao, see you soon at Paradiso.
Welcome to Kingmakers, home of the JP Peterson Show studio and Tampa's premier business networking and social club for members only. By day, it's an exclusive, vibrant co-working space with a stylish conference room, focus rooms, a full production studio, and an in-house marketing team. And by night, Kingmakers transforms into a sports-centric social hub with a full sports bar, golf simulator, and exclusive events. For young entrepreneurs and seasoned professionals, it's the perfect place to work hard, play hard, and make big moves in Midtown Tampa. Close the deal, celebrate the win. Only at Kingmakers. Become a member today at kingmakerstampa.com. Your business, your club. Hey, JP here for my concierge medical professional, Chris Lugo, PA. You've heard him on the show for a couple of years where he shares invaluable medical, nutritional, and supplement advice. With Chris, it's like having a medical provider as your best friend. What I love about this concierge service is the convenience and support he offers. I can text or call him 24/7 with any questions or concerns, and he'll promptly call in a prescription if needed. No office visits or copays required. It gives me peace of mind knowing I have someone genuinely invested in my health, not just focused on insurance profits. And the best part, the Bay Area Modern Medical Center's personal concierge service is more affordable than you might think. Don't let insurance companies dictate your health care. Take control of your health and wellness today. Visit BAMMC.com for more information and to schedule your initial free consultation. Empower yourself and take charge of your personal health with BAMMC.com.
Let's go.
Right now, back to the show on FanStream Sports.
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show, brought to you by the great folks at KingmakersTampa.com, where we're emanating from today. Beautiful production facility we have right here that you can actually use if you become a member at KingmakersTampa.com. It is a private club. We have shared office space here, a great conference room for you, a unbelievable golf simulator, sports bar. It's a really, really cool place. Go to KingmakersTampa.com for more information. All right. So I was perusing Twitter, and by the way, the FSU football schedule is out. I just sent you a graphic on that, Timmy, if you want to throw it up.
All right.
If you're excited about this slate for FSU, interesting slate that it is, they'll get started August 29th, Labor Day weekend, New Mexico State at home. And then they got the SMU Mustangs coming to town Monday, September 7th. So a Monday night game against SMU.
That's a loss.
Then they get a week off, and then they're headed to Tuscaloosa to play at Alabama. Just waiting for you. There we go. Then we got Central Arkansas. At home. Probably. Then Virginia will be Saturday, October 3rd at home. Then we go on the road to our first of 3 Friday night games. The ACC, once again, putting FSU on the road at night on a Thursday or Friday.
Of course.
At Louisville.
Oh.
There you go. Then Saturday, October 17th, they're at Miami. Then Saturday, October 31st, Halloween. Clemson at home. Then Boston College on the road, Saturday, November 7th. It might be a cold weather game.
Yeah.
And followed by the next week, short week, and you fly back up to Pittsburgh, Friday, November 13th.
Could be a cold weather game.
Could be. Then Saturday, November 21st, NC State at home. So a conference game late in the year. And then Black Friday game at home against Florida. So beating the Gators or beating the Gators?
Yeah. But you're losing all the other games.
Every other game. So I'll go 1-0. Do we beat SMU at home in week 2?
No, you're not beating SMU.
All right, so 1-1.
SMU is going to be a playoff team next year.
Alabama 1-2. Central Arkansas 2-2. Virginia at home. Oof. Let's go 3-2.
Okay.
Louisville on the road. Loss 3-3. At Miami, 3-4. Clemson at home, 3-5. BC on the road. We haven't run a road game in 2 years. So where's a road win? Maybe BC. Let's give them a win there. So what is that? 3 and
I think you got a better chance of beating Pitt than you do BC.
Yeah. You know what? This might be a 3-win season.
I've got him at 3-9, JP. And Mike Norvell's second to last year because they're going to give him another year.
If you are an FSU Bucs fan, if you're FSU /Bucs like me, where's the hope? Where? Can't wait for football season to start. Oh God.
Might be a
awful. Season. It's just awful.
It's going to be a rough year, man.
You know what? I think we're going to have to get a mental health professional as a guest to come on and give us some tips on how to deal with the loss of hope. Just in general. How do you deal with not having any hope in your fandom? How do you deal with that?
I don't know. You're asking the right guy as a Cowboys fan for 50 years.
How do you do it? What's the secret?
Every year's our year, JP. Every year. What's going to happen this year? We're like Cubs fans.
Listen, you can't say crazy things don't happen. Look at Indiana. Look at Seattle. Look at the Patriots, both 60-1. I guess anything can happen in the, we as down as we are, anything can happen.
SMU beat Miami last year.
Yeah. Smoothie Seminole says, how do you collectively bargain? Are players under contract for 5 years? Well, that's the thing. You have to set up a whole new system. You have to set up a whole new system, give college athletics an antitrust exemption, which is that legislation as part of the SCORE Act, I believe. And I don't think, has it been voted? I don't think it's been voted on. So it hasn't been adopted yet. But that would give them the ability to do what needs to be done. And that's treat the players as employees, let them unionize, collectively bargain. And you could come up with some rules that are similar to the NFL. Could be done. I've been talking about this for probably 10 years that it needs to be done, and it needs to be done. It's the only way I see of getting it done. But in order to do that, it's going to take some leadership in college football that and a group of teams and conferences that have endemic huge advantages, the SEC and the Big Ten, who don't want to give up that power. Why would they want to give it all up to spread it out to all of college football? To save the sport? Yes, that's why you would do it. And you're still going to make great money. But getting them to do it is a whole nother deal. King Cook says, I really like the Georgia tight end for this Bucs offense. Maybe we can get him in the later rounds. What's the name you're talking about? Shoot me a name on that if you would. Let me get some other folks in here. Mm-hmm. It says Aviation said, hey, Tim, did you make it to the Moody on Saturday? The crowd was rocking.
I did not make it anywhere since Friday. I've been iced in, man. I wanted to go. I watched it on TV, though.
Who won that game?
Did
SMU win that?
I believe so.
FSU was it actually won a basketball game in the ACC, beat Miami.
83-80. I believe.
James says FSU, by playing in the Orange Bowl, went from a 13-0 team to getting beat 63-3. Everyone forgot how good this team was at that moment. Norvell should have said no. 100%. I mean, you want to go back and look at that whole situation. And we said it in real time. Two things should happen. Number one, if you're Mike Norvell and the FSU organization, you go to your players and you say, hey, yeah, we got snubbed, but we still have a chance to go beat Georgia in the Orange Bowl and claim a national championship. They would have had an opportunity to be declared the national champion by the AP. There are still actually places that vote that aren't considered the national champion just by the playoff system. So you could have claimed that and really kept your team on a roll, right? And And I don't know if Norvell tried to do that. And if I were FSU, I would have paid the players to play in that game. The only thing you couldn't do was go to that game and play with your third teamers, freshmen. You had no chance. And obviously Georgia was going to make a statement. And Georgia players didn't quit. Totally different deal. Totally different deal. There's nothing in the history of college football that could be compared to what happened to Florida State and those players.
Yeah.
It's just nothing. From an emotional standpoint, being screwed and knowing that it had nothing to do with what you did, but it was all a political hit piece by ESPN. And they all knew it. And they weren't going to go play on ESPN and make them more money. But somehow Norvell was either talked into it or whatever. They should not have taken the game. Should have done what Notre Dame did this year. Say, no, we're not going to play. No. And because it was an embarrassment. It goes on your record. Even Mr. King said FSU went 13-1. Nope, they did not. They were 13-0. That game did not count, in my opinion. Should never count. It was a joke. And it was forced upon Florida State, and they never should have done it. They never should have done it. You either go with your players, get them to play, go beat Georgia, play a real game, or don't play at all. That shit was embarrassing, and it broke the program. It broke the program. And that's bad leadership. Whether it's whether that was an Alford call or I think he was first year as his AD. Whatever, or the organization or the ACC, whoever made that call, ridiculous. Absolutely horrible. Aviation says, I see where you're coming from, James, but it looks like you're pouting if you sit out the bowl game like Notre Dame did this year. The way they acted, it'll take time for people to forgive them. I don't know about that. I don't even think I think not playing, you take some heat for a little bit, but people forget it. You know what they don't ever forget and is always on the score sheet? 63-3. That's what they don't forget. And in Notre Dame, they knew if they went and played in some meaningless game, half their players wouldn't play. And you're embarrassing your own brand. Like that, I disagree with you. I'll stand for, I wish FSU would have said, no, fuck you, ESPN. We're not going to play. No, screw you.
That's how it should have gone.
That's what I should have gone. What did we gain by going there? Money to the conference? I don't even know if Florida State got any extra money. No, Notre Dame played it right. And I know everybody bitched and moaned and made their memes. That lasted, a week? 63-3 never goes away, ever. So I would disagree with that. Alejandro said, JP, Arestas going to have a baseball show later today. Yes, we are. We will be live from 2:30 to 3:30. That's what we're shooting for because I got to go do the Zach Robinson press conference, which I'll put some social media up stuff for that. But after that, we'll be back 2:30 to 3:30, and we will catch up with the baseball stuff. All right. Anything else we need to? Michael LaRue says, is Jason Light or Todd Bowles going to be at the press conference today? Will they speak? My guess is no.
Yeah.
Because that would supersede everything Zach. Everybody would want to know about. There would be some very pointed questions, I would think.
Hey, where you been?
Yeah. So, yeah.
Who will be the team representative there? Then we'll just be one of the Glazers.
There won't be. It'll just be Zach, and he'll answer questions. That's typically what they do.
Somebody would be there. I guess the media guy, right, would introduce them.
Oh yeah, but they don't even introduce them. They'll just go on the side. It's
all right.
Yeah. I would think. I mean, maybe I would like to hear from Jason.
Everyone would.
Yeah, it's Senior Bowl week, so we are actually looking ahead to the draft now.
I'll be at the East-West Shrine game tonight, JP.
The East-West Shrine game? Where is that?
Out here at the Star.
At the Star?
To the Star, yeah.
They used to be here. They moved that around.
The power of Jerry.
Yeah, Joel Forsland said 63-3 still pisses me off. I know, Joel. It's just what a debacle. Yeah. Aviation says both the committee and the NCAA don't know what they're doing. It's a free for all and try to get the most views for their product. Yeah, the committee is just a joke. It's a ceremonial thing. ESPN, the brass there picks the teams that they want in. And they did a good job this year, I guess I would say, except unless you're a Notre Dame fan. Lonnie Wilkins says, per the MLB City Connect cycle, this should be the last year of skateboards for the Rays. Thank God. I never bought into that crap. That was not good. James says, I see Marcus Freeman on the national championship game panel. He didn't lose anything, and his team lost to Miami, and he still said, we don't want to play in a meaningless bowl. Yeah, I think that's the way to go. That's the way to go. All right. I failed to mention this, and it's on my sheet here today when we talked about the Lightning. Our good friend Dave Mishkin, radio voice, did his 2000th game last night. And he has been a absolutely iconic voice for the Tampa Bay Lightning. And not only that, just the greatest guy you'll ever meet. A great author as well. And also, we highlighted last night during the game in our video series, he goes to TGH like once or twice a week with his dog, Stella. And Stella's, I don't know. It's not
a great name for a dog, by the way. I love that.
I don't know what breed it is. I should know that. But it's kind of a bigger dog, big, fluffy, just the kind of dog you just want to run up and hug, So he brings the dog to TGH and to interact with the patients, and you just see their faces light up. And it's a therapy dog for everybody. Yeah. And Dave explained to us on a show one day, like how he had to go through months of training and with the dog to be able to do this. So there's a huge commitment to it, a time commitment that he was willing to do, but he absolutely loves doing it. Says it's therapy for me, the dog, everybody loves it. And I'm like, oof, I would love to do it. Tally would be a great dog for that. My dog, Tally, would be a great dog for that because everybody loves her. She loves everybody. She doesn't get spooked by anything. She just, and she's one of those dogs you just want to hug. All the time. Just about
any golden retriever would be good for something like that, right?
Yeah. And Tally's a yellow lab golden. They're all the same, but they're just such friendly dogs. And but Dave is an absolute treasure. 2,000 games is a lot of games, and I just can't imagine, a game without him. To be quite frank, John Allers, I think, was the guy before him. He became the Anaheim play-by-play guy. Was the guy before Dave Mishkin when I first got here. But Dave has taken it over and made it his own, and is a great story. Not only in the fact of what he does, and he's one of the best at it, but just the impact that he's made on the community as well. So it's pretty cool stuff. So congrats to Dave Mishkin. 2,000 games as Lightning broadcaster. I was trying to count up how many games I've done. So I've been doing this for 11 years, about average of 50 games a year, I would say probably. So over 500, not quite 2,000, but done a lot of Lightning games.
You'll get there.
Yep. Well, I don't know. They've already found my replacement.
She's a lot cuter too.
Yeah, she is. But I'm more fun. No question about it.
Would she dress up like Ron Burgundy for Halloween?
Hell no.
No, she wouldn't.
She wouldn't have to.
Wear whatever she wants.
I have to make it interesting, just to keep it interesting. Yeah. All right, we'll take a break. And when we come back, we're going to talk some college basketball with Jacob Reimer, a college basketball expert. You guys have some questions. We'll talk a little USF as well. And we'll get back to some of the other stuff as we get later on in the show. We're brought to you by the great folks at Third Generation Plumbing. They have a maintenance special going on right now. $169. You get 2 visits where they come out, clean the drain line out, make sure everything's working at its peak performance because you always want your unit at peak performance. They also use American Standard heating and cooling equipment. So if you're getting a new unit, that is the best one. So you got a great dynamic duo of Third Generation Plumbing. They also do AC. That will install your American Standard heating and cooling unit, the best in the business, best efficiency ratings, best value, best everything. So Third Generation Plumbing, American Standard heating and cooling are the way to go. Back in 3. Italiano Insurance would like to congratulate the Bucs on their 50th anniversary season. And you know what? We've been here for every season and then some, over 60 years in business. We've seen some smart coaches with great game plans, but if you don't have flood insurance or business insurance, that's a terrible game plan. That could ruin you financially. You don't want to take that L. So call 813-877 $77.99 and let their friendly agents quarterback your insurance and save you big money. Italiano also sponsors our FSU report every week, so go Noles! 813-877-7799 or go to italianoinsurance.com. Experience the art of driving at Genesis of Tampa, where luxury meets innovation and every detail is crafted for you. From the bold G70 to the refined GV80, Genesis delivers power, elegance, and technology years ahead of its time. Book service online, and our Genesis Experience advisors will pick you up and drop off your vehicle. If available, you can enjoy a courtesy car while yours gets a complimentary interior vacuum plus a generous offer for your trade. Every new Genesis comes with the Miracle Advantage Plan, 10 years or 250,000 miles of powertrain warranty and 4 years of complimentary maintenance. Visit us at 801 East Bears Avenue or online at genesisoftampa.com. Genesis of Tampa, luxury redefined.
Sports fans, it's time to gear up. Head to fanstreamsports.com and check out our brand new merchandise store. We're talking bold t-shirts, 3/4 zips, hoodies, hats, mugs, and more. Everything you need to rep your favorite shows and your favorite crew. Whether you're rolling with the JP Peterson Show in Tampa Bay, From the Rough in Dallas, the Tim May Show featuring Clay Hall, or the Jeff Thidoff Show in Ohio, or any of our FanStream Sports original programming, we've got the perfect look for game day and every day. So don't wait. fanstreamsports.com. Click merch and grab your gear now. Wear the stream, live the stream, fanstreamsports.com.
Hey, kick off the new year by impressing her with a real diamond, a natural diamond, from Golden Diamond Source. Don't start with a fake diamond, guys. That's a really, really bad idea. And if you're ready to pop the question, find the perfect engagement ring at the Golden Diamond Source, just like I did, just like Nick did. It is the best selection, the best staff, the best everything. And discover the new Emily collection by Emily Johnson Weintraub, a sleek and modern jewelry line that makes everyday gifts absolutely extraordinary. And by the way, gold prices have never been higher, so turn that old unused gold into cash or a stunning new piece. Just take it on down to the Golden Diamond Source and trade it in. Lots to get done at the Golden Diamond Source this new year. Start with an engagement ring from the greatest, the Golden Diamond Source. 3800 Alberton Road, always online at the Golden Diamond Source.
It's the love you give only at Golden Diamond Source.
JP here for Riveters, our new official sports bar and grill of the JP Peterson Show. And just like our show, no BS, no corporate chain feel, just amazing, authentic folks serving great comfort food in a casual atmosphere at unheard of prices. Riveters is located just south of Raymond James and Steinbrenner Field on Dale Mabry, walking distance to the park, so free parking, great place for pregame and postgame. Let's talk about fresh food. Nothing is frozen. Burgers, wings, prime rib, roasted fresh daily, never frozen. That makes a huge difference. The mahi, the salmon, also super fresh. All our sauces are original recipes made in-house. Our Warhawk chili and fully loaded potato soup is made fresh in-house. It's the best food anywhere, served by people who actually care. Riveters on Dale Mabry, just north of 275, just south of where the Bucs and Rays play. We'll see you there. Hey folks, Rays baseball and the summer heat will be here before you know it. So don't let your AC unit strike out and cost you hundreds or thousands for an emergency repair. Get a 1-year maintenance plan from Third Generation Plumbing and AC for just $169. Though will come out twice a year and service your unit. Clean the drain line, make sure it's running to peak efficiency. If you need an emergency repair, it's going to cost you hundreds, if not thousands more. It's a no-brainer, guys. Just call the great friendly folks at Third Generation. They work with American Standard Heating and Cooling to ensure you have the most efficient and durable units. Their split systems offer the highest efficiency available while reducing energy bills and maximizing comfort. So choose my guys, John Rodriguez and PJ, at Third Generation, along with American Standard Heating and Cooling. Don't wait for the emergency that'll cost you thousands. Call Third Generation Plumbing and American Standard. 813-961-8024. That's 813-961-8024 or thirdgenerationplumbing.com.
Let's go.
Right now, back to the show on FanStream Sports.
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show, brought to you by the great folks at Cafe Paradiso. If you've not been over there for a great traditional Italian meal, what are you doing? Number 3 on the open table list as the best Italian restaurant in all of Tampa Bay. Been doing it for 30 years, and there's a reason for that, because they have great food, great value, great atmosphere, great place to go on South McDill there. Go see my good friend Paulo, his brother, the whole gang over there, have a nice glass of wine and enjoy some fantastic Italian food. Going to be a big weekend over there for Gasparilla, I can tell you what.
I know where I'd be if I was in Tampa right now. That would be at Cafe after the space. Actually, probably before the spaceship, I'd go to Cafe Paradiso.
Before?
Well, because I don't know how long I'm going to be at the spaceship. I might not be able to go after the spaceship, JP.
Oh, I see.
Spaceship has a way of trapping you and just,
taking all your money. Yes, well, I know. Those aliens, they are really good at what they do.
I just take my coin purse with me, and I throw it at them on stage while they're up there.
Yeah, I know the feeling. All right, let's talk a little college basketball. You want to introduce our next guest here, Timmy?
Yeah, it's the first time we're here on the JP Peterson Show. It is Jacob Reimer from 97.1 The Fan in Columbus, Ohio. Jacob, how are you? Thanks for joining us, buddy.
Oh, I'm doing great, even though I am freezing cold up here in Ohio. I know
I am in Dallas as well.
It's got to be nothing like what it is in Tampa right now. That's
for sure. It was 90 degrees on Sunday, babe. I'm hitting golf balls out there before we watch football. It's fantastic. Hey, it was 39 degrees this morning when I got in my car. Ridiculous.
Well, I was just in Orlando at Disney a few weeks ago, and it was freezing cold in the morning. I had a few days where I'm wearing hoodies and joggers, and I'm like, I thought I was in Florida. This feels like Ohio right now.
Yeah, we have our moments, and we love it. I love the cold weather. Like when it's finally cold here, it's because I know what's coming. All right, so speaking of college basketball heating up, I was watching a little Arizona and BYU last night with interest. A great finish in that game, by the way. Burris had 29 for Arizona. It remains undefeated. But AJ, is it Debonsa? Debonsa, am I saying that right?
Yeah, AJ
the freshman from BYU. Boy, that kid can play. Tell me a little bit about him and this Arizona team as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a testament to the freshman class with how good Debonsa is. He's not the only one, but there's been a stretch this year, especially like he really picked up in December, where he kind of took off and was starting to separate himself as the clear best freshman. And then Cam Boozer is having some big time performances. Darren Peterson is now healthy as well for Kansas, but Debonsa's elite. He's a 3-level scorer, can get anything that he wants. And it was a great game last night, like you said. Arizona is legit. I was worried about them coming into that because they went early in the year. They had some really good games and looked good, especially on the road at UConn. But this was their first real Big 12 test in an electric environment in Provo. And they dominated for a majority of that game. I thought Jaden Bradley and Braden Burries, that their backcourt duo there is elite. It's a great recipe to have to build to have a national championship caliber backcourt, because in March you got to have great guard play to win national championships and get deep there. And that's what Arizona has perfectly.
Yeah. I think both those guys, those point guards are going to play in the NBA. I don't think there's any question about that. That's a really good team.
Absolutely.
Didn't we have four freshmen score 40 or more on Sunday? Was that the first that's happened in forever?
It was 3. The first time ever. Kingston Flemings went for 42. Keaton Walker went for 46 in Mackey Arena, which was the most points ever put up in Mackey Arena, which is ridiculous because for how tough that place is to play. And then Debonsa followed it up with 43. But then you also had 2 other 30-point performances from Cam Boozer with 32, and Darius Acuff at Arkansas had 31. And it was a monster day for the freshmen. It was like, what is in the water? Because it was like Kingston Flemings is doing this at Texas Tech, and then all of a sudden that game ends, and I turn my attention to Illinois Purdue, and Wagler's cooking, and then I'm like, okay, we've kind of settled down a little bit, and then nope, here comes Debonsa, and he's going nuclear against Utah.
Yeah, so here's the big question, and Timmy and I were talking about this: the downfall of college basketball. Because I covered the ACC in the 90s, and that was the golden age of college basketball for me, when these great teams stayed together at Duke and North Carolina, even Florida State. But you just don't see that anymore. But now with NIL, guys are staying in college. Is there any chance that these freshmen, these super freshmen, are going to stick around and make money, or are they headed to the NBA as well?
I feel like 10 years ago, like there was a 0% chance that was happening. I still feel like with these guys, it's a very like they're most likely going because that money is different. But that's the thing, like you mentioned with NIL, that's a whole new opportunity for some of these players where they can come back and still make money. Because like there was conversations when Zion was at Duke and when he had that injury in the Carolina game where I was like, oh, should he really come back? Like he's going to be the number 1 overall pick. Like he's going to make a lot more money if he just holds out and goes and just gets ready for the NBA. We saw that with James Wiseman the year after that at Memphis. Yep. I know he had a bunch of stuff going on with Penny Hardaway too, but like he was banged up and he was like, yeah, I'll just bypass it and go to the NBA. And that's where like there's its benefits and doubts with the NIL because it can get sketchy at times, but that is the nice thing where you can potentially see some of these high-level freshmen come back and still make a good amount of money. And from what I've heard about Caleb Wilson, how much he loves Carolina and like wants to build a championship, wants to win a championship there and have a legacy there. Like if any of the top 4 freshmen, that would be the one that I would think would come back.
You know, I actually covered Tim Duncan his last 2 years at Wake Forest. And I was working up in the Carolinas. And
God, you're old, man.
I am very old. But one thing Tim told me was, and there was a big, whether he was going to come out or stay at Wake Forest, and he decided to stay another season at Wake Forest. And he said, I love college, and I don't want to go to the NBA. I love being on campus. You go to the NBA, you're an 18, 19, 20-year-old with a bunch of grown-ass men, and it's just different. And he said if given the opportunity, most kids would stay in college, especially if they can make money doing it. And I think that's what we're seeing. And I think it's better for the NBA too, because so many of these guys, you mentioned Wiseman and so many others, go to the NBA and they're not ready. They're just not ready. And they get passed over. And then before you ever know, they're in the G League. Now they're in Europe. And what could have been, I mean, they could have stayed at their college and made a real impact. And now when you can make $4, $5, $6 million a year, why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you stay in college? And I know you might make more as a bonus in the NBA, but you're going to get there eventually. So I think more will stay, and it's good for college basketball.
Yeah, absolutely. Seeing some of these high level guys continue to come back, it would be awesome. It's great for the sport. I'm a Carolina fan. Like there's always been a number of guys that continue to come back, and I felt like you saw it when NIL really picked up with Armando Bacot and RJ Davis and those guys. Now, yeah, they might not have been NBA ready, and they're still trying to find their way, but they built a legacy. And that's the cool thing about college athletics is like when you can have guys stay for multiple years and continue to grow and build at one, and that's a whole different conversation with the transfer portal and if guys continue to bounce around. But I mean, like look at Braden Smith this year. Like he's a guy that's a 4-year guy, and he's on pace to set the all-time assist record. Like it's getting rare now with all this one and dones and like, yeah, with NIL, like it's been the benefit for him to be able to continue to come back and continue to chase after this record.
Jacob Reimer joining us here, WMBS FM 97.1, The Fan in Columbus, college basketball expert. All right, as far as the game here in town in Tampa, it's USF, and Brian Hodgson is the new coach here, longtime coach at Alabama. With Nate Oates, assistant coach there, has brought his same style of play to USF, and they're having a hell of a season. Just got a big win over FAU, got a chance to win the American this year. What do you think about Hodgson? 37 years old. I love the vibe that he's brought here. He's a guy that you can watch. The coaches on the sideline that are entertaining. He's one of them because he gets after it big time. He gets after his players. And I love the way they play defensively. What are your thoughts on the USF program?
Yeah, absolutely. It's a very fun style of basketball. And you're getting up and down, you're shooting threes. They've got a lot of shot makers on that team. And yeah, like they've got some pretty solid wins. Like you just mentioned the FAU win. They also beat Tulsa. The two other best teams are the two other teams at the top of the American right now. They also have a win over Utah State in the non-conference, which is big because they're one of the favorites to win the Mountain West, a team that I really like a lot. So, like, yeah, these wins are looking really nice for them and can continue to grow on that as we get closer to March. And yeah, they're likely going to have to run the table and win the American. And I feel like they have a great shot at doing that with the style of play that they have.
Yeah. By the way, USF at Tulane tomorrow night, 9:00. It's ESPNU. You can watch it there. Isaiah Nelson, their big guy on the front court, was the player of the week this week for the Americans. So very exciting team to go watch. Your thoughts on the Gators ranked? Where are they at the new poll? I think I saw them at 19. The defending national champions. Do they have a run in them
19.
to make it back?
Yeah, they had that slow start, which was very interesting with them, with what was coming in from the offseason. Like everybody loved them as a chance to go back to back like they did in 2006 and 2007. And I still really like their roster build. I said in December after they lost to UConn that they're still going to win the SEC. Like the SEC is that wide open, and that was a game that kind of springboarded Xavier Lee's play. Apparently, all it took was a haircut from Boogie Flan to really turn him on. And they've looked awesome as of late. Picked up some really good wins, and they're top 10 in KenPom and defensive efficiency. That's the thing, is like they're really solid defensively, and it's that front court again. They're leading the country in rebounding. Like it's an elite group that they're able to rotate in with Thomas Houck, and I know he's transitioned more to the wing, but like for how versatile he is with his size, that's a problem for opposing teams to have that on the outside. And then Alex Condon, Ruben Shinyulu has been awesome for them on this stretch. So I really like that. If Xavier Lee and Boogie Flan can continue to play well, because that's going to be their downfall. If they resort back to how they were at the start of the year, that's what's going to get them. But they're playing at a high level right now, and I think there's a lot of confidence with this Florida team to where they can definitely go on a run and get a top 4 seed in the tournament and have a shot at going back to back.
What about, I don't know if you've looked at FSU at all. They have struggled this year big time under Luke Lauk's first time. He brought in a lot of transfers. He's got a hell of a recruiting class coming in next year. But, he wanted to run and gun and play that Warriors type game, except he didn't have any three-point shooters. So he's kind of like said, you know what, maybe we'll go back to a little bit more of a traditional game and see what we can do. They beat Miami at Miami, which was a huge win for them. But I guess we're just kind of waiting to see what he can do next year with this recruiting class he's got coming in.
Yeah, this is just kind of a development year, really. Like you're still towards the bottom of the ACC right now, but I feel like they've competed. Like earlier in the year, they hung with Florida. They went into Chapel Hill and hung with them for a decent amount until Caleb Wilson kind of took over in the second half. And they played Duke really well right after that too. So like they're having some solid games, but like you said, like it's really all about the class that they have next year coming in. If you can continue to compete at a high level and build some confidence going into next year, and who knows, like anything can happen in March if you continue to play well towards the end of the year. Like you can pull off some wins and everything, but yeah, I'd say it's more of a like let's get to next year and see what this class is like.
Timmy, you want to get in here?
Yeah, we've got a big I was letting you get the local stuff out of the way, JP. We've got a big top 5 matchup tonight. Michigan and Nebraska, number 3 Michigan, Nebraska number 5. They're the only other unbeaten team other than Arizona in the top 25. I'm seeing Michigan favored by 10.5 last time I checked, so I have an issue with that. I also have an issue with the fact that the only way to watch this game is on Peacock. What in the hell are we doing in college basketball when we have a top 25 matchup in late January and it's only available on pay-per-view for the most part? What are you looking at for this game, Jacob?
I think that was a thing set in the preseason, because I think like Big Ten games get so many games on Peacock, and I'm just like, come on, we can see how both these teams are trending. Like we can't find another game for these two to have on Peacock. Like this needs to be on a nationally televised stage for everybody to see, because this game's going to be awesome. Like you mentioned, the spread, it's a double-digit spread for a top 5 matchup, which is crazy to see this late in the season. Nebraska's awesome. They somehow continue to find a way. I always like to say, how can you not be romantic about Nebraska ball? Because it's a lot of fun right now. I was looking this morning since the start of 2026, and really when conference play ramped up, Nebraska is 2nd in defensive efficiency on Torvik, and Michigan is 10th. Nebraska is really good at forcing turnovers. They like to they don't give up the 3, but their defense sets up for them to more attack the paint, and then they collapse on the inside, which against a Michigan team that's really big, like that's going to be a challenge for Nebraska for sure. So it's going to be a war, I think. Two really solid defenses, and it could just end up being a classic Big Ten game. It's going to be a lot of fun, I'll tell you that.
And this stings even more when you look at the games that we have nationally on ESPN. We've got number 15 Arkansas at unranked OU. On ESPN2, we're going to have unranked Notre Dame hosting number 17 Virginia. This is just, I mean, thankfully I have Peacock, so I'll be watching it. But for those of you that don't, man,
it's bad for college basketball. I mean, nobody. It's one of the premium games in the season, and nobody's going to see it.
Yeah. Well, if you got YouTube TV, they've been doing the NBC Sports Network. They're bringing that back now too. Yeah. So like that's how I've kind of benefited from that a little bit, was getting it that way. But it does stink. Like that's where my attention is going to be tonight for sure. And I think after that at like 9 in the late window, you got Kentucky and Vanderbilt, which will be a pretty fun game too. Two pretty similar styles, and Kentucky's been playing well as of late. But yeah, that early window tonight at 7 o'clock, like, it sets up to where you should just have your all eyes on Nebraska and Michigan. And if it were a nationally televised game, like I mean, it's a part of NBC. Why not just pop it on NBC? I don't know. Well, does the NBA have it tonight? I think maybe.
Probably, yeah.
But still, we got to find a different route. It's a top 5 matchup. You think they're going to do something like this for football? Like it would be all over ESPN or NBC, Fox, whatever. It would be getting flexed like no other.
And last night, I didn't see this one, but Duke absolutely smashed Louisville. That was supposed to be a big ACC showdown. It was 83-52. What the hell happened there to Louisville?
Yeah, Duke has really been killing teams in the second half. And I was in and out on Ohio State, Penn State while watching that a little bit, and caught the second half, and I just blinked and Duke's up 20, and they end up winning by 30. That's a tough thing about Duke, is like their defense is pretty ridiculous. Like I think they held Louisville to like 52 points, which for how elite their offense is, they can put up a lot of threes and really run it. And their guard play is typically pretty good. But last night, Mikael Brown Jr., their freshman, was shut down in his second game back. Caleb Foster was great defensively on him. And then Cam Boozer just continues to do Cam Boozer things. Their front court rotation is pretty solid too, with Malik Brown and Pat Nagamba. So they're a very interesting team, because there's been times this year where John Shire's kind of mixed up some different lineups just to get a feel. And it's like, this team's like top 5 of the country, and we're still trying to figure this out. And they're still just rolling teams. They went out west and killed Cal and Stanford, while North Carolina, on the other hand, lost both those games. So just complete opposite ends from those two. But I think it sets up for a very interesting matchup here in a few weeks when they meet in Chapel Hill, because Carolina had a big win at Virginia, and Duke just is continue to steamroll teams, and it's just what Cam Boozer does. All he does is win. It seems like he was doing it at high school, and now he's doing it in college. Like they're looking pretty tough.
All right, Jacob, great stuff, my friend. Appreciate you. We'll be tapping in as we get closer to March Madness, and hopefully Florida's got a run in them, and maybe USF can make it to the tourney as well. So we got some good local storylines here we will be following. How can folks get your content? Let them know.
Yeah, so I'm on Twitter at RhymeTime05, and I'm also on TikTok at JacobRhymer5. So, yeah.
There it is.
Good stuff, Jacob. Thanks, partner. Appreciate you.
Thanks, brother.
Awesome. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
Yep.
All right, Timmy, it appears we have a head coaching hiring.
Breaking news.
Joe Brady.
Predictable.
The new Bills head coach.
Predictable. I think that's the right move. I mean, if you're going to do something as dumb as firing Sean McDermott, then you might as well go get his first lieutenant, right, on the offensive side of the ball.
Was this a coup? Was this an internal coup?
You know what? The only thing internal about this would have been from the Pagula family themselves. So, and they own the team. They can do whatever they want. I don't see a coup here.
By the way, owners' press conferences can be dicey. And the one Pagula did was dicey.
Sometimes owners just shouldn't talk.
Maybe we want to hear from the Glazers. Maybe it's just best we don't. Maybe it's just best we don't. That was weird. Is he like, did you fire him because they lost? Yeah, I fired him because we lost in the playoff game. I mean, wow. Seems very, very emotional and short-sighted. And then to elevate Joe Brady.
You know what? At least they didn't do it like the very next day. Like that would have been even more like sketchy, right? Like you fire Sean McDermott the day after the playoff loss, and then literally Tuesday morning, 8 a.m., you're like, our new coach, Joe Brady.
Still has blood on the dagger that he pulled out of his back.
Would have been.
I mean, is a little shady, little shady, little something shady there? I don't know.
Maybe.
I mean, you would think that if you're going to fire Sean McDermott, you know where you're going. So you would, the people whisper in his ear, just make Joe Brady the head coach.
Well, I mean, he was getting other looks. Like he was interviewing for other jobs.
Yeah, that's not totally out of the realm.
Yeah.
But so if you like your offensive coordinator and you think he's going to be a better head coach, you keep him in the building.
Jason Light.
Oh, so
I still think he tried, JP. I still think he thought he had done that.
I don't want try.
Do or do not. There is no try.
There is. You got to say it in the Yoda voice, don't you?
Do or do not. There is no try. Makes me gag when I do my Yoda voice.
I can't decide if that was good or bad, but I think
terrible.
it was bad.
It was terrible.
There is no
I will.
no.
Sounds like Fozzie Bear impersonating Yoda.
Oh God! As we
Don't
sit
ask me to
here,
do Chewbacca.
as we sit here, what could have been?
Huh?
Could have been if they just listened to that stupid guy on that podcast that told him to hire Liam and fire Todd. If they'd only listened, where would we be? I'm telling you, I got an
I
answer.
think you're in a better place now.
Excuse me?
Now that we know who the real Liam Cohen is, I think the Bucs are in a much better place right now. I'm going to fall on that sword, JP.
You're still
I do not want Liam Cohen anywhere near my organization, knowing what I know now about him. Nope. I guarantee you, this is a flash in the pan. This is not sustainable. Just wait. Just wait. In 5 years, when Liam Cohen's begging to be somebody's quarterback coach somewhere because he's burned every bridge in the league and he's got no Super Bowls, no nothing to speak of.
Well, the chances are that he's not going to win a Super Bowl because only one team wins a year. Chances are. But ask any Buccaneer fan, would they rather have Todd Bowles or Liam Cohen right now leading their team? And what would Liam Cohen have done in Tampa? That's the thing. This is what I thought was a better roster than the Jags have. But
well, the big question is, who would Liam Cohen have hired as his defensive coordinator? That's the
someone better than Todd Bowles.
You'd like to think.
Yeah. Given the numbers and the complexity of this defense and the scheme, but he's going to change it. So, Chris Garrido says signing your young talented coordinator because you're afraid someone else is going to get him is akin to the Bucs hiring Raheem. You're talking about back in the day?
Back in the day, yeah.
I know the narrative is that they thought he was the next Mike Tomlin, and that may have been, but the main narrative there was Gruden wanted money for free agents, and the Glazers were buying Man United. They were going cheap back in the day, and they hired the cheapest coach and had the cheapest team. And they were, what people don't remember is there was no cap, but there was no floor either, and the Buccaneers took advantage of that. So I know that was, he's the next Mike Tomlin. I think it was more the hiring cycle is over. Gruden wants us to spend lots of money. We're not going to do it. Who's left? We got Raheem here, and we think he's going to be a good coach. He did win 10 games. But, I don't know.
Look, Jerry Jones screwed this up, I think, first for everybody back in 2006 when Sean Payton was here as the Cowboys quarterback coach. And by the way, he also held the title of assistant head coach. How many quarterback coaches do you know that hold the title of assistant head coach? Because he was trying to keep him here, right? But he didn't want him to be the OC quite yet. Bill was here, Parcells, Big Tuna. And that's the biggest regret that Jerry has going back this century is that he let Sean Payton go to New Orleans to be the head coach in 2006.
Yeah.
Instead of, God, who was the OC? Bill Parcells was a head coach. Who was the OC back? I don't even remember. Might have been Garrett. Garrett might have already been here.
Yeah, that's what I thought. It might have been Jason Garrett. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and what's funny is talking to Sean about this years and years and years ago, he was the first to tell me, he's like, there was no way I was going to be a head coach under Jerry Jones. He would not have taken the job.
Oh, he didn't want to work with Jerry.
He didn't want to be a head coach under Jerry because Jerry controls the team.
Right.
So, and that's the gripe of everybody, that Jerry's the coach, right? And that's not so much the case anymore because he's 180 years old. But back then, that was in the height of Jerry running the team. But it's funny. Not everybody knows that story, that Sean was like, there's no way I was going to be a head coach of the Cowboys.
Yeah.
So
he knew that he needed roster control to be able to, implement his system. And I know a lot of coaches want that. I think it's better being a divided system, because I do too. Coaches
not every coach can do that, even though they think they can. Not all of them can.
Yeah, I agree. It's better when you work with somebody that is good and you trust each other, and you have two strengths. Because I think it's impossible to do both. I mean, coaches need to have influence, obviously, on the type of players that you're going to get. But I think it needs to be a separation of powers there when it works the best. No question. So, Joe Brady becomes the Buffalo head coach. I mean, what was left out there probably wasn't great. And then you have the continuity of your offense. You got to go find a defense coordinator now.
Right. And if you're looking at Josh Allen, who I've always had him as a top 5 quarterback. I think you're an idiot if you don't have him at least in your top 5. But you cannot argue his lack of success in the postseason. And this year specifically, he did not play like a top 5, top 10, or top half quarterback, I think, in the postseason.
Very loose with the football.
Very loose with the football. He looked uncomfortable at times, and I don't know if they've changed anything in the offense this year or what. But if you think that this offense is what's best for Josh Allen, then don't go change it, right? You don't want to go get a new head coach and then change your OC, and he's got to learn a whole new system. I know he's not old or anything, but how old is he? I don't know how old he is.
Joe Brady?
No, Josh Allen. I don't remember. He's 30?
I think he's approaching 30, yeah. Yeah.
It could be 30 this year. So, you can't go change offensive systems on it, make him learn an entire new system, because you still have postseason momentum, right?
Yeah.
You don't know what the Chiefs are going to be next year. You certainly don't know what the Bengals are going to give you. The Ravens have undergone a coaching change now. Who knows what Lamar Jackson's going to do? I mean, your window to me is still open with Josh Allen. So you can't go start changing things and making him even more uncomfortable. I think you need to fix the offense, not go change it necessarily. And if you're a believer in that, then Joe Brady, you had to have Joe Brady as your head coach, because he's going to change things the least for Josh Allen. Right.
Yeah, I think there's some continuity there, and they can bring somebody in to fix the defense. Yeah, he'll be 30 May 21st.
Okay.
So, and listen, he's still very much. I mean, the Bills, I think their Super Bowl win. Anytime you have a quarterback like that, your Super Bowl window is open. They've got some nice pieces. They're just snake bit, man. They're just absolutely snake bit. Did you see? I haven't double checked this to be 100% accurate, but I saw a video on Instagram, and it was this picture that the NFL put out in the beginning of the year. It was like this a Super Bowl. It was the Super Bowl logo and all the quarterbacks from the teams or key players like heading towards the Lombardi Trophy. It was just like this promotional poster type thing, graphic. And when you zoomed in, the two closest players to the Lombardi Trophy were Drake May and Sam Darnold.
Shut up.
Yes. For you script writing conspiracy theories people, I haven't checked it. I saw it. Now I don't know if they put this, just made it this week and it's an AI video and it's all bullshit. But it was interesting. It was definitely interesting.
I gotta find this now.
I have not double checked to see if that's completely accurate, but yeah, because that's like, are you kidding me? Remember last year there was like some promotional thing that was leaked before the championship games, and they already had the 2 Super Bowl teams on it.
Yeah, like the big thing is the color of the logo every year. Like supposedly the color of the logo tells you who's going to play.
Well, Joel says the picture's legit. He says the picture's legit. Yeah, it was tweeted by the NFL account on September 3rd.
Oh, I see it. Yeah, hang on. I'll throw it up here real quick. I mean, you're not wrong.
That's bizarre. That's completely. I mean, both these teams were 60-1.
Okay, but look. Okay, I'm looking here. Let me throw it up here because I'm going to do. Well, here, I'm not even going to throw up the whole thing. I'm going to zoom in on the front of it there because it's kind of far here in the background. But there are other quarterbacks that are like they're right with them, including Baker Mayfield is in the front row of this thing.
Is he closest?
Hang on. And I don't know who that is. There's somebody in between them. I can't tell who that is. Hang on. Throwing it up here right now. Producing on the air. It's what we do.
That's how we do it. It's how we do it. You don't want us just to do this ahead of time. Then it's not spontaneous.
Then we would be like everybody else.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. So
there's Darnold and Drake May.
I'm going to go full screen here. Hang on.
Yeah, I guess you could say that Baker's also in the front row, right? But he's not closest to the trophy. But although I would say Neighbors is probably closer to the trophy.
Yeah, that's Neighbor. Okay, I was thinking quarterbacks. And you got Travis Hunter over there on Baker Mayfield's other side. But, I mean, there is something, yeah. Darnold and May are right there to the left.
The front of the line.
That's pretty funny, man. And look who's in the back, to DJ Watt, Bijan.
Yeah.
Daniels. See, Nakua's way back there, though.
Yeah. Well, he's not going to the Super Bowl.
We already
wrote him out, bro. That's great. But Darnold and Drake May right there in front.
That's pretty funny, man.
It's all scripted. It's all a simulation. You people.
Oh, my Lord.
You people. You're being played. You're being played. All right.
No better than wrestling.
It doesn't even matter who's coaching the Bucs. It's already been decided.
Because it's not scripted for them to win anyway.
Well, maybe next year they'll script writers will get together and go, ooh, I like this. Nobody's thinking of everybody hates Todd Bowles. Let's make him the champion. Yeah.
Well, and you know what? Look what the league just rewarded Sam Darnold with, right? A Super Bowl, right? For the script writers. They said, man, Sam Darnold, you've been through the ringer in your career. We owe you a Super Bowl appearance. If that's the case, tell me how Baker Mayfield is not owed a Super Bowl appearance.
Yeah, we're next. Yeah.
There you go.
I mean, if we're doing script writing, Josh Allen would have been a much better story. Right?
No, but he's only 30. I think he's going to be he is the John Elway of this era.
Oh, okay.
He's got to be 36, 37, 38 before he wins one, and then they'll give him 2. They'll give him back-to-back shoot like they did John Elway.
Right.
And it could be with a different team.
Could be.
You never know. John Elway beat his longtime coach in the first one, or the first or second, I can't remember which one they beat the Falcons in when Dan Reeves was their head coach. Maybe they'll do the same thing. Maybe McDermott's going to be coaching whoever, and then Allen beats McDermott's new team in the Super Bowl. I don't know. Hey, maybe I should be a scriptwriter.
We've got lots of options for sure. All right. Thank you guys for jumping here. Don't forget to like and subscribe on our YouTube channel. We're trying to get to 2,000 subscribers. So if you have not, please just go to YouTube real quick and like and subscribe there. FanStream.
By the way, hack into your friends' Gmail accounts, hack into your mom's Gmail account, and then go like the page under their account as well and subscribe.
Yes, hack away. Have a great day, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow.